She had a monkey board on Monday night.
Careful about those leaves, because one fell down.
Actually, I didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
I'm glad to go soon.
Hey, this is
Here they come.
Why? You make our numbers look great. Yes.
Ooh. It's a fairy tale. What's a fairy tale?
Oh, it's a made-up story. It's imagination story.
Yeah, a made-up imagination story. So, Arthur's tractor plowed up and down, turning green to brown. Chugga chugga chugga. Chugga chugga thrum, chugga chugga thrum, chugga chugga thrum, chugga chugga. Eek! Oh no! What happened? There's a dragon and a princess. Arthur, he stamped down the brake and stopped the tractor. Well, nobble my kneecaps. Whatever can that eek be? Oh dear, it's a princess. Arthur turned off the engine and got down from his cab. And he stood for a while and he scratched his head. And then he said, oh, that must be the sprocket sprigot needing a twist and no oil. So Arthur twisted and oiled. He doesn't notice that there's a princess being chased by a dragon. Oh no. He started his tractor and now there was no eek. So, chugga chugga thrum, chugga chugga thrum, chugga chugga thrum. Ha! Good, said Arthur. That's good. Chugga chugga thrum, chugga chugga thrum, chugga chugga thrum. Thud thud thud. Uh-oh. Thud thud thud. Wow! Bless my blisters! Whatever can that thud 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 be? Arthur turned off the engine and got down from his cab, and he stood for a while and he scratched his head, and then he said, He doesn't think it's a knight riding on his horse to rescue the princess. He says, that must be the old bundle weaver running loose. So he gave the bundle weaver a kick, and when he started up his tractor, there was no more thud, thud, thud. Just chugga chugga thrum, chugga chugga thrum, chugga chugga thrum.
Yeah.
Good, said Arthur. Then,
There was more.
chugga chugga thrum, chugga chugga thrum, chugga chugga thrum. Crash! Wow! Top and tail a turnip. Whatever can that crash be? Arthur turned off the engine and got down from his cab. What was the crash?
Just the night.
The night. And he lost his boots. Arthur turned off the engine and got down from his cab, and he stood for a while and he scratched his head, and then he said, that must have been the curling blade hitting a stone. That will have to be sheared and shuffled and sharpened now.
Knight's hat.
Oh no, you ran over the knight's hat. What do we call that, a helmet? Yes. So Arthur took out his tools and he sheared and he shuffled. And he doesn't notice all the armor. He began to sharpen, but something jarred his arm and the curling blade shattered. Oh, dollops of dung! The blim blam blade has broken. Oh dear, that's an interesting way to Here, said Arthur, may I have that old sword? What? Now he sees the knight? And if you could just blow there. So he's telling the dragon to blow there, that would help. May I have a bit of that skirt to wipe the blade clean? And if you'd hold that in place, that would help. And Arthur and his friend Edith hemmed and jiggered and fixed fine and sharpened a new curling blade. Wow, that's amazing. So the princess was quite handy. What was her name? Did you catch it?
Ethan.
Edith. The blade was fixed, but the lady lingered. "That's a finely tuned and turned out tractor you've got there," she said. "It is," said Arthur. "But if I may say so, Edith, you're rather a well turned out, and you're well tuned and turned out yourself," said Arthur. "Oh, said Lady Edith, "and you, Arthur, are handsome as well polished as a tractor." "Nobody's ever said anything like that to me before," said Arthur. Arthur took off his cap and he scratched his head and he thought for a while and then he said, "Hey, would you care to share this tractor with me, Edith, and the soil too? We could sow and reap together forever. What do you say?" "I think it would be good," said Lady Edith. "Now pass me that can and I'll oil that coil bolt brandisher before the dang thing bangles free." Goodness. So they're a match made in heaven.
Wait, can I see? What is that?
And so the off goes the night, and they lived happily ever after. All right, good night, tractor.
I want to track the books that we're going to read.
I don't know how many. I have a lot.
I know.
The stars are out. It's time for bed. So say good night, my sleepyhead. Thanks for yawn. Oh dear. Good night, farmer. Good night, cloud. This reminds me of Good Night Moon. Have y'all heard Good Night Moon?
No.
Good night, trailer. Good night, cow. Good night, dog. And good night, sheep. Yes. Good night, tractor. It's time to sleep. Good night, combine. Good night, truck. Good night, donkey. Good night, duck.
Good night, mouse.
Good night, pig. And good night, sheep. Good night, tractor. Time to sleep. Good night, wagon. Good night, puddles. Good night, horse and hen and huddles. Dog and donkey, duck and cow. Combine, wagon, truck and plow. Oink and bray and moos and buzz. Quacks and neighs and moon and stars. Good night, all. Now count the sheep. Uh-oh, what does counting sheep make you do?
Go to sleep.
Good night, tractor. Time to sleep.
Melissa,
That's a good bedtime book.
do you want me to keep running through all of them or pause in between each
You can
one?
pause.
We have good night
You don't have
construction
to.
side.
Okay.
We have good night
All right.
construction
So it sounds like, so we have, which one would you rather hear?
Oh.
Duck on a tractor or grandpa's tractor?
Oh, duck on a tractor.
Yeah,
duck on a tractor.
Have you heard it before?
Yes. I don't
It
think
sounds funny. Let's see what.
Yes, I've heard
I mean,
it.
what could
Duck on a
happen with a
tractor.
duck
This
on a
is
tractor?
funny. This is funny. I've read this
All right.
before.
Are you ready? Down on the farm, ducks sometimes got wild ideas. Ooh, who has wild ideas here?
Me.
Oh yes, I
I
believe it.
sometimes.
Oh no! One day he decided he could ride a bike, and he did.
Oh yeah, I
Then
heard
he
that one too.
spotted the tractor. I bet I can drive a tractor. If I can ride a bike, I can ride a tractor. Sure. The other animals weren't so sure, but they all said, well, if he can ride that bike, maybe he can ride a tractor too. So Duck climbed on the tractor. It's the wrong color though, isn't it? Shouldn't it be a John Deere tractor?
Yeah.
Just kidding. My dad had a red tractor. It was a Farmall 8, and it was really cool. He pushed some pedals and wiggled a metal stick, but nothing happened. And then a shiny little piece of metal by the steering wheel caught his eye. He pulled it out. He pushed it in, and then he turned it. And all of a sudden, the tractor shook, and it caught, and it rumbled, and it began to move. Oh, dear. Yes, it was. At first, it moved very slowly, and it jerked a lot, but it was kind of fun. So Duck drove around the barnyard until he got the hang of it, and then he stopped in front of the other animals. Climb on, everybody, he says. Now, would you climb on if a duck was driving a tractor?
Yes, I would. Because I know
believe it. Dog was first. He jumped right up next to Duck. Woof. he said. But what he, okay, I'm sorry. You write up, okay, the dog said, but what he thought was, he said, whoop, but what he thought was, we're going for a ride. To everyone's surprise, the cow clambered on next. Cammy, the cow was next. Can you imagine seeing that? Oh my, that's amazing. Moo, said the cow, but what he thought was, this is the silliest thing I've ever done. Pig and pig took a seat in the back, said pig and pig, but what they thought was, this sure beats walking. Then came chicken, mouse, and goat. Said the chicken, but what she thought was, last one on is a rotten egg. Have you ever done that? Okay, shh. Okay, everyone. You're getting a little loud, so why don't we pay attention to the story? Or, all right, squeak, said Mouse. But what she thought was, I can see everything from up here. Nice. Now, said the goat. But what he thought was, I'm hungry. Does the garbage dump have a drive-through window? That's funny. Next up were horse and cat. Cat jumped up gracefully onto the tractor, and horse, not so much. Meow, said the cat, but what she thought was, I was going to take a nap. But this should be very interesting. Nay, said the horse, but what he thought was, I think I'd rather walk. He does look a little alarmed, doesn't he? Do you think he looks alarmed? I think he looks alarmed. The only one left on the ground was Sheep. Said the sheep, but what she thought was, this is too dangerous. Get on, Sheep, everybody shouted, but Sheep wouldn't budge. So Duck started driving away without her. Wait, cried Sheep. Don't leave me here all alone. She ran after the tractor and took a blind leap onto it. Yelled the duck, but what he thought was, wahoo! Can you say that? Wahoo! Duck steered the tractor down the lane and onto the main road. Oh dear, it's one thing on the farm, but now they're on the main road? That can't be good. All right, and before long, they were driving right through the middle of town. Oh dear. It was lunchtime, so most people were in the diner. They all looked up when Duck and the other animals passed by the window. Oh dear. A little boy named Edison was having lunch with his grandma. Did you ever? Said Grandma. But what she thought was, a duck on a tractor? That's impossible. That's totally awesome, Edison shouted. But what he thought was, no one's ever going to believe this. But in this day and age, we would take out our cell phones and we would videotape it and everyone would see. Now, Marcine, the waitress, looked up from her pad and noticed Cat. Heavens to Betsy, she exclaimed. But what she thought was, oh, I like cats. Well, hello. We're reading Duck on a Tractor. And all these crazy animals are on the tractor. And now they're riding through town. All right. Deputy Bob rather, if that don't beat all. But what he thought was, how am I going to explain this to the sheriff? A man named Otis chimed in. I must be seeing things. But what he thought was, oh no, not again. He must remember Duck on a bike. Oh, holy cow, hollered Manny the cook. But what he thought was, holy cow. Manny usually said exactly what he thought. That's good. It's good. The mayor almost choked on his pie. Good gravy, he said. Those pigs are even fatter than I am. Oh dear, that would be hard. Corky just whistled, but what he thought was, that duck is smarter than he looks. I think that's true. Now, Gwen came out of the restroom. Would you look at that, she exclaimed. But what she thought was, I can't see a thing without my glasses. Now, Farmer Odell observed, that's a really nice tractor. But what he thought was, hey, that's my tractor. Oh, dear. Now, what's he going to do? Do you think he's going to chase after it?
Yes. Yes.
He decided he better go after it, and he ran out the door. Everyone else ran out too and chased after him. By the time Duck had turned onto the next street, the tractor shuddered to a stop. Duck tried turning the shiny little piece of metal again, but nothing happened. I don't know much about spelling, said Dog, but I think that E means that it's empty. Or no, actually thinks it means it's E, end of our ride. Sheep cleared her throat. You know, I think we might get into a little bit of trouble for this. Oh, let's get out of here, Duck yelled just in time as Farmer Odell and everyone from the diner came around the corner. And everyone burst out laughing. They all said it couldn't have been. It was just an optical illusion, exclaimed Otis. Farmer Odell said he must have left his tractor running by accident. I guess that explains it, said Deputy Bob, and then they all went back to the diner to finish their lunch. And no one ever admitted that on that day they had seen a cow. What does a cow say? And a goat. And a cat. And a dog. And a sheep. And a chicken. And a horse. 2 pigs. A mouse. And a duck.
What's this?
On a tractor. Very good. All right. Thank you so much. Now, everyone, we're going to go look at the tractor.
I've seen mini tractors before. I've never seen I think my experience over. Hey, I can't get it. I'm jumping. You sit in the back. No, I'm not. You're mowing my experience over. Hey! Go, Corey, drive us! This is over.
Do you think we can all sit on this and get a picture?
That would be fun.
Yeah, Mommy. It's a ball.
I don't know if the gate will stay open. Isaac, you want to go see the tractor?
I feel like I'm gonna fall.
You guys having fun? Who remembers what the cow says? What did the cow say? What did the sheep say? What did the duck say? I bet you don't know what the pig said. I was right. What does the pig say? There you go.
Alright, I'm going to put you.
I feel like we should sing Old MacDonald Had a Farm. And on that farm he had a duck. With a quack quack here and a quack quack there. Here a quack, there a quack, everywhere quack quack. Old MacDonald had a farm. Are we ready for me to take a picture? Oh, Henry, come on. Alright, I'm going to stop the video and I'll take a picture. Alright, so for our craft today, you use brown paint to make the furrows. And then they add their tractor. And we're adding the wheels with Brad.
Everybody get one of these?
Yeah, we waited.